Hello, my name is Ethan, and today I'll be reading Disney's Toy Story, A New Mission. I chose this book because I grew up with Toy Story. A big change was coming. Andy was leaving for college and his toys were heading to the attic, but Sarge and his green men had a different plan. They climbed to the top of the windowsill. "Hey, Sarge, what are you doing?" asked Buzz. "War's over, folks," said Sarge. "We're moving on." Sarge explained that their tour in Andy's room was complete. It was time he and his troops took up a new mission. When Andy was younger, Sarge had a bucket of soldiers at his command. Now he only had two. It was his duty to find the soldiers a new home with a child who would play with them. Sarge and his men gave Buzz and Woody one final salute. Then they jumped off the windowsill and opened their parachutes. Operation New Home was a go. Across the city they flew. "Sir," said one of the soldiers as they pointed below, "potential target, 6 o'clock. The men looked down and spotted a toy store. "Well done, Private." Sarge knew a toy store would be a perfect place to find a child. The men steered their chutes past a tall building, crossed a busy road, and finally landed in the toy store's parking lot. The soldiers stationed themselves by the store's entrance. Sarge spotted a boy and his mother walking towards them. "This child is military material. On my mark, gentlemen," Sarge whispered. As the boy and his mother exited the store, Sarge gave the signal. "Go, go, go!" He and his men jumped into the mother's shopping bag and were carried out the door. But the troops weren't taken home for playtime. They were brought to a bakery counter in the grocery store. "We have a delay of chocolate nature," said a soldier. As the boy reached for a cookie, he knocked one of the shopping bags over. The army men tumbled to the floor. After the boy left, the baker spotted them. He brought the troops to the kitchen, gave them a good wash, and placed them on a birthday cake. The next morning, the troops were placed in a box and carried out the door. They were on the move once again. When the lid of the cake box was finally lifted, Sarge's men found themselves in the middle of a birthday party. "Green Army men! Cool!" exclaimed the birthday boy. He plucked the soldiers off the cake and set them aside. "This could be it, men," whispered Sarge. "This boy could lead us to our new home." The troops nodded in agreement. The mission was back on track. The troops watched from afar as the boy played video games with his friends. But then, somehow, the boy disappeared. "Sir, we lost visual," exclaimed one of the men. Sarge scanned the room. "Target is heading for the exit. Let's move, move, move." The troops followed the boy out of the front door and into the parking lot. But they were too late. The boy was gone. Before the troops could retreat, a pizza delivery truck screeched to a stop above them. The driver honked his horn. Out of the restaurant came a server carrying a stack of pizza boxes. "About time," grumbled the server. "Take these to the Wilderness Explorer picnic. There are a lot of hungry kids waiting for lunch." Sarge and his men looked at each other and smiled. They knew exactly what to do. The troops crouched below a plastic spaceship on the truck's roof as if it weaved in and out of traffic. Suddenly, the truck hit a bump, causing one of the men's parachute to open. Sarge grabbed the soldier as he began to take flight, but the wind was too strong. "Go on without me, sir. Save yourself," the private called out. Sarge knew better. A good soldier never leaves a man behind. With a nod to his men, Sarge let go. All three soldiers flew off the truck and landed on the side of the road. Sarge gave orders for the troops to set up camp in the bushes next to a gas station. It had been a long day and he wanted his men to rest. At sunrise, the unit awoke to a loud rumble. Suddenly, Sarge felt himself and the troops' makeshift shelter being lifted into the air and then tossed into a trash can. "Sarge," called one of the soldiers. Sarge was thrown into the rear of a garbage truck. Then the trash man hopped inside the truck and drove off. Sarge struggled to keep his head above the shifting garbage. Just as he was about to sink beneath the plastic bags, Sarge looked up and saw his men. They had come to his rescue. The soldiers lowered themselves into the truck. Sarge reached out and grabbed the hand of his waiting soldier. "Never leave a man behind, sir," said the private. The soldiers jumped off the truck and landed on a dumpster in an alley. Sarge looked at his tired troops inside. Perhaps leaving Andy's house hadn't been such a good idea after all. At that moment, the men heard laughter coming from the other side of the wall. They climbed up and peered over. Sarge gasped. Below them was a beautiful playground. In the distance, a beach ball bounced over a sandbox. They parachuted over for a closer look. "Welcome to Sunnyside Daycare." A group of toys greeted the Green Army men with open arms. Ken and Barbie gave the troops a tour of the playground and classrooms. Everything was new and improved now that their previous boss, Lotso, was off pursuing other career opportunities. Sunnyside would offer the soldiers plenty of playtime with the children. They were finally home. Mission accomplished. The end.